you, Naji and JB. Thank you for having me, and thank you all for riding through this fantastic voyage with me. Get right into it. So, as Naji mentioned, my name is Chris Zulo. I am married to an amazing woman and a father to two wonderful boys, three dogs, and as of this weekend, two Chinese dwarf hamsters, our smallest members of the family. I have several certifications, accreditations, working with marketing, cloud, and related technology for a while. If you want to connect on Twitter or Trailblazer community, that's all in here as well. And I have a bunch of logos here. I'm related to or affiliated with each of these. So just want to give you a little bit of background about me. So our focus today is insights in analytics, and that weight is about 14% of the exam. And so there's four main buckets here, and just to let everybody know, there's a number of resources that I reference and link to in here. You don't necessarily have to write down or screenshot, as Naji mentioned before. This will be shared. The links are all embedded, hyperlinked, and a number of extras in the speaker notes as well. So we'll point you into a number of areas that are specifically around the analytics and insights components within Marketing Cloud that will be covered in one form or another on the exam. So one note is, I'll just pop back here real quick. So I know Elliot Harper is going to be covering in more depth Einstein features in his session, which is day 11. This is day 9, so next week. And so just kind of give you a quick overview of the various components within Marketing Cloud where we can either analyze or report on the data. The primary area that we want to, or Marketing Cloud wants us to focus on, is the analytics builder. That is sort of the dedicated or centralized area. Now, it's not the only area, but we'll get into that in a little bit more detail. I don't want to get too hung up. I just want to kind of focus on the agenda real quick. So we'll talk about agenda builder. Sorry. This is not Dreamforce or Connections. Analytics builder, intelligence, which some of you may be more familiar with the term Datorama. So intelligence is what was Datorama. There is also areas within Email Studio, Journey Builder, Mobile Studio, as I mentioned, Einstein, and what we are definitely not going to cover, at least in this session, is the full-blown intelligence platform, aka Datorama. That is, you should be aware of, but not necessarily be, anywhere near expert level knowledge on that. But you do need to be familiar with the reporting capabilities within the standard Marketing Cloud, including intelligence reports for Marketing Cloud, which is the localized version of the intelligence/Datorama functionality. And then obviously have the obligatory Brandy. Can't do a session without having Brandy and some form of a animated GIF. So hopefully that's not too boring for you. And so I'm just moving along. So getting into reporting as a whole. Make sure you have a cover sheet on every report. For those of you who haven't seen Office Space, strongly recommend it for a good laugh, especially in our line of work. It is a little bit older of a movie, but is 100% accurate of what life is like working in an office, even remote. So leveraging data by addition. So this is straight from the Salesforce Marketing Cloud pricing page on their website. And so this is kind of the high level, what's available. This is a type of question that you may see, maybe not as granular or as specific, but you should be familiar with which editions have which features, which are standard, which are not, which are, necessarily paid add-ons or otherwise an advanced feature. And so reports and dashboards, every edition of Marketing Cloud has a standard set of reports available for users. There are advanced reporting capabilities that at least are standard from corporate and above. And then, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to cover in depth anything specific to Einstein, as Elliot is going to dig a little bit deeper into that within his session. But just to kind of give you the lay of the land, Einstein engagement scoring and engagement frequency both come standard at the corporate edition and above, at least as of this moment. So I forgot to throw out the safe harbor. You're not buying Salesforce, but please make all your purchasing decisions on currently available information. And so this is a link out to that page or that website. So good to at least get familiar with what features are available, and that can kind of help supplement your preparation for the exam. By no means should you know every single piece, but at a high level, it'd be good to understand where the pieces fall. So a little bit more detailed version of the reporting capabilities, again, by edition. So drilling down a level deeper, we have the standard reports, which is available across every edition. There's the Datarama reports, aka intelligence reports. So you're going to see probably interchangeably intelligence and Datarama. Salesforce is updating their naming conventions. So for the most part, they're naming it intelligence, but there's still a lot of references to Datarama, even in the current documentation. So best to be familiar with both terms, as they are still used interchangeably for the time being. So as you can see there, it's available from Pro and up. Email conversion tracking is another thing. Again, just sort of the basic concepts of, did they convert based, that's tracking through the links and activity from the email. So that is available from Pro and up. And then you get down into the more advanced features and functionality. So, having some familiarity with Einstein capabilities, Datarama reports or intelligence reports, advanced, that is. So if you see advanced attached to the end of the title, that is referring to the addition to the paid version of that, which unlocks some additional functionality and features above and beyond what's included in the baseline Datarama reports or intelligence reports. And then lastly, integration with Google Analytics 360. Again, that's a more advanced feature. So there is, there may be, one, I don't think more than one, maybe two questions at best that even acknowledges that. So just having familiarity that it is an option, and at least at the high level, would be suitable for this exam. But you don't need to, again, spend too much time digging into all of the components that come with that integration. And again, this link goes out to the detailed pricing sheet. We'll kind of give you by edition and a much more granular list of features above and beyond what we're talking about on this session, which is reporting and analytics. It has virtually all of the features and functionality listed side by side, and so you can kind of see what's included with what and kind of how that shakes out. Again, a lot of information to digest, so just a quick scan of that would be helpful. So quick side-by-side comparison, again, from the intelligence versus intelligence reports advanced. So both of what I have on screen here is specifically within the platform of Marketing Cloud. This is not the standalone intelligence Datarama platform. This is purely what's available within Marketing Cloud today. The intelligence reports is quote unquote the standard version, or sort of the entry level of the intelligence report functionality. The advanced feature is a paid add-on. And so the main thing with the intelligence reports is, sort of like a journey, push and email statistics. It's mainly, it's mainly point and click, predefined, nothing too custom, whereas the advanced gives you additional features and functionality, like being able to write queries to get the types, more granular data that maybe you're not able to get with the out-of-the-box dashboards. And so it gives you a greater flexibility there to really dig into your analysis of whichever channel you're trying to drill into, whether it's looking at the journeys or the emails or the mobile components, and just gives you additional ways to slice and dice your data. So just kind of give you just a quick distinguishment between the two of those products. And so the analytics builder is kind of the high level. So I kind of left this up. This is an older screenshot from an org that I've had for a while, and so things have been renamed or things have moved around a little bit. But for all intents and purposes, Analytics Builder is again sort of the preferred destination for your reporting needs. So there's the standard reports, which is literally just called reports. You have intelligence reports. It says Datarama reports here, but as of today, last week, I think it said Datarama reports in my org. This week, it actually has been updated to reflect intelligence reports. And if by chance they still mention anything related to Discover reports, intelligence reports basically replace that. That is a legacy advanced reporting capability that was available. It is no longer offered. It is no longer available, I think, in any orgs that I'm aware of. But if there is a reference to it, intelligence reports has replaced that. Discover reports has been decommissioned, should not be accessible in any environment as far as I'm aware. Oops, sorry, jumping ahead there. Mouse is a little twitchy. And another thing that used to be visible under Analytics Builder, and I only kind of call it out mainly because it does tie into analytics and your ability to capture data, track data, and then eventually report on it, however you may be leveraging that. The collect code has moved over to the Einstein sort of like family of products. And you would access that through web recommendations. So just kind of quick call out of that again. That is, you wouldn't see that, or I don't think you would see that in your environment today. Just going to do a quick check. I see there's some chats here. I don't know if there's any specific questions. No, okay. But if you do have questions, please don't be shy. Do throw it in the chat. I do try and keep an eye on that. I know there are others that are looking at the chat to try and answer those questions. But we'll just keep moving along if there are no immediate questions. And so talking about the standard reports, the analytics builder, this is a screenshot, and I will do a little drive-by in a bit through the environment to kind of show you where things are, where you can access them. But just at a high level, the reports that you come standard, some of these might be a little outdated. So you see a reference here to Discover. I don't think, looking at a live window now, that is no longer visible. So the numbers are a little bit different, but this gives you an idea of the standard reports that are available in every marketing cloud environment that is stood up. And so this is your standard options. So your typical opens, clicks, bounces are available. You have some channel specific categories. You can look at by context, by mobile, and various account level and summarized levels. And so I think there's, I don't know the exact number, but I think it's over 60 or around 60 or so standard reports that are included within Marketing Cloud. It's been a while since I've taken the exam. I don't think it necessarily digs into each of them, but having an idea of the high level breakdown, as you can see on the screen, the various categories would be helpful to understand, and spending a little time getting familiar with some of the key reports that are commonly required of marketers that are supporting their organization, commercial or otherwise. And so moving along. Okay. So Datarama reports, aka intelligence reports, you get a little expanded view of what's available in intelligence reports. And so again, this is not the full-blown Datarama. This is specifically within the Marketing Cloud environment. And so I have included the kind of the navigation to that. And so your main window would be through Analytics Builder, and then it would actually say intelligence reports, especially if it's a brand new environment. today. And then you have, there's an advanced version that's a paid add-on. And so again, the emphasis here is simplicity, ease of use, clicks, not code. It's meant to be an empowering tool to allow marketers to quickly analyze by the most common and relevant data points that you would be leveraging or wanting to analyze within Marketing Cloud. And so you can see dashboards, you can create pivot tables, and currently the main options from a channel perspective are email and mobile push. And then there is journey specific options as well, but that's more holistic and kind of overlaps the channels, if you will. And so there's four main things: is the dashboards, the pivot tables, there's kind of the underlying reports, and then there's some there's a setup option from an administrative perspective where you can make some modifications and manage your reports for your environment. Okay, and so Email Studio, which is sort of the OG of the Marketing Cloud, that still technically has reporting capabilities. They do, or you should generally, again, go to Analytics Builder for a majority of your reporting needs, but there are still a couple of ways that you can quickly look at some analytics within Email Studio. And so there is a tracking option, at least it's still visible in my environment. It is deprecated or otherwise, sort of it's no longer updated. They're not adding features and functionality to that. They're not building on that. They're pushing or building within Analytics Builder. And so you should generally go there, and then pretty much anything you would see here should have been already migrated to Analytics Builder, and there's likely more up-to-date options there. As I said, they're not adding any additional features to the Email Studio versions. So Mobile Studio has a little bit less, and for all intents and purposes, if you click Create Report from Mobile Studio, whether it's Mobile Push or Mobile Connect, it's just going to flip you over to Analytics Builder anyways. So it's just more of a shortcut than an actual feature-specific reporting capability. So just want to kind of highlight that again. For all intents and purposes, you want to leverage the Analytics Builder navigation and build and manage your reporting and analytics from that area of the tool. So Journey Builder isn't necessarily its reporting, but there are some components there where you can look at your journey health, look at sort of goal attainment and other overall health of your journeys. Are they running, completion, success, stuff like that, kind of high level information. So you can access that through Journey Builder. And so again, Analytics Builder is still your primary area, but just kind of giving you some insight to how other areas of the tool that allow you to monitor what's going on with your communications through Marketing Cloud. All right, so again, I don't have any big special questions, but if anybody gets the reference to this music video, please share that in the chat. I would be very much humored and amused. For anybody who wants to throw the name of this artist or the name of the song, that would be great. Otherwise, this is my cue for flipping us over into a little bit of a demo. So thank you for those. I see a few people there. Shout out to Coolio. Awesome. Anyone know what song this is? I mean, I kind of gave it away at the beginning, but otherwise, let me reshare and go to a different screen. So 1 second. Share and all right. So if you're not seeing Marketing Cloud in an orange browser, please somebody let me know. It is Fantastic Voyage. Great, excellent, love it. And so, all right, so here we are. I'm just going to do a couple of, so within the overall Marketing Cloud, you kind of, the upper left-hand navigation is where we can drop down and see the main navigation options. And so where I've already clicked into, simply because with the demo, you try and optimize your demo environment by getting all the right tabs open ahead of time. So I'm not going to click around necessarily, but just wanted to show you Analytics Builder. And you see intelligence reports is here, reports. So this is the current, I see zoom in. Okay, let me see what I can do. I guess the Marketing Cloud is a bit a little small to begin with. Okay, I don't want to be too big. Is that good? I can keep going. Well, it's going to be huge, like a billboard. Okay, I got one confirmation, so we'll go with it. All right. So again, to do any of your navigation, you hop up and things will pop down. And so, okay, so that search term, this is a Chrome extension from Deselect. So Deselect is an awesome add-on. There's a number of really awesome ISVs and features to enhance your administration of Marketing Cloud. That is Deselect. So if you want, and that's a free Chrome extension. If you want to check it out, if you have an environment, it's really good, especially for specifically from a data extension, searching your data extensions within your environment. This is a very helpful tool. But getting off track because that is not related to the reports. But again, navigation-wise, pretty simple. You can see Analytics Builder. And so from the overview page at a high level, I can see all of the available reporting categories. Again, this is a demo environment, so this is not like, all the things are rocking and rolling in here. So I don't have a whole lot set up, but it will, at least from a navigation perspective, and I think that's really the crucial feature, is just knowing where things are. So when we talk about, or you think about standard reporting functionality, that is going to be in the reports feature under Analytics Builder. And so if I wanted to, I can click into any of the categories. While I'm here, let me just go into the email one. And so what it will do is it'll refresh and it'll give me a list of options that I can then create. And so you can then, you can create FTP, you can display, you can download a CSV. So it gives you some addition, gives you a few options for how you create and distribute reports from Marketing Cloud. And so you can just scroll up and down and see, whatever it is that you're looking to do or report on. You can, you have filters here. So if you're, overwhelmed by the information that is displayed on screen, you can filter it down to kind of really drill into whatever area that you're trying to run a report on. And so that is the overview tab. And then if we click on catalog, I think it basically is the same thing, so it doesn't really refresh. Basically, it gives you the full view of all the things. And then activity, if I had anything run today, it would show up here. History, again, nothing has been run recently, so it's not, I have nothing here. And then I don't believe I have anything scheduled, but you would see all of that here. So again, Analytics Builder reports are your baseline or your standard reporting and analytics functionality within Marketing Cloud. Okay, let me just move that so I can click around. All right, so next up is Email Studio. And then again, just wanted to kind of give you a quick lay of the land. So if there were sends, recent sends, you kind of get a very quick way. I mean, I hope this sticks around forever, because I mean, anytime I've actually sent an email out the door and I wanted to do a quick check, I generally would come to here because it's the fastest way, in my experience, to look up a recent send, because this in chronological order of most recent send would show up here. If there was something pending, it would show up on this tab. Again, don't have any live sends going out because it's not a a live environment necessarily. This is a demo org that if you are a partner or if you are a customer, then you have this available. And so that's a quick way to kind of look at most recent, what's my delivery rate, what's my open rate, any bounces, kind of get a quick snapshot of what's going on. So so let's see. So yeah, so this gives you, 1 of 1. So doing great. That open rate is amazing. So, very happy with my statistics here, but generally speaking, a larger send, you would have a more diverse set of information here available. And then you can kind of drill in through a different tabs here. So click activity, what links are being clicked. If we're tracking conversions, then we would see, I don't have any conversion data set for this, not using surveys or anything like that. And then job links, the more system-based information. And then I can export this. I have nothing useful here to export, so I'm not going to go any further there. And again, you can kind of see some of these older options. Again, most things are available, if not everything is in Analytics Builder. But old habits die hard. So I still will use this on occasion when I need to do a quick review of something that I've sent, or reviewing something that somebody else wants me to take a look at. So that's Email Studio, and go to Mobile Connect. As I mentioned, this is really more of a shortcut than anything. And so if I click Report, it's going to pop me over into Analytics Builder Reports. When that refreshes, it will give me an option to return to Mobile Studio where I'm from. So normally this doesn't show up, but because I came from here, as you will notice, I now have an option to jump straight back into Mobile Studio, but also it is already pre-filtered the reports that I would care about. Because if I'm coming from Mobile Studio, why would I want to look at email? I mean, at least in theory, I don't care right now. I'm trying to look at what's going on with my mobile communications. And so click that, pops me back over. Similar thing, not going to bore you with the exact same functionality, but the exact same behavior is expected with mobile push. This would take me over to Analytics Builder Reports, and then it will also give me the option to come, hop straight back over to mobile push and continue building whatever content I may be working on within mobile push. All right, so intelligence reports, not looking too intelligent because, again, not a lot of activity and volume coming out of this environment. But you can see here, we can look at email overview. I'll click into a couple here, just kind of give you, kind of the look and the feel. So a much more modern look, certainly a much more aesthetically pleasing, design to this environment. You can get fancy and design, sort of update, some of the background features, functionality. I'm not going to get into that here, but that is an option. And then from a, again, it's all sort of it's all predefined. So daily, weekly, monthly, can apply some filters here. Can select business units or a specific campaign. Again, not a lot set up here, so not much I'm going to be able to do from that perspective. But as you can see here, the focus from intelligence reports as of right now is messaging and journeys, specifically email being kind of the priority. And then currently mobile push is showing up here. So the push notifications doesn't have the SMS covered as of this date. I'm sure it will eventually get here, but as far as as far as the exam is concerned, it should be based on current, generally available features and functionality. And then we could look at it from a journey performance. So if we had a number of journeys by email, we could then kind of look at, you can see these are sort of the usual suspects: sends, bounces, opens, clicks, unsubscribes, all of that. Individual email. So can you select an individual email to measure in? So within here, we would see all of the sends, and then if we wanted to drill in here, so you have the ability to, depending on the context, the short answer is yes, but context matters. So we can drill, refine this to the business unit if we're looking at it from a campaign perspective, or in this case, this is the content that I have available here. Again, not fully baked out here. I can't show a number of options. The advanced version will give you greater granularity, but that's intended, I believe, to go more into individual subscribers as opposed to the specific send. So if I had a lot going on here, I would actually have email sends showing up here, and then I could click in from there to look at the underlying data from this view. Hopefully I've answered your question, but the short answer is yes. Depending on how you're wanting to look at it, you may run out of runway eventually, depending on how deep you want to go. Okay, so pivot tables again. So in this case, email send. So there's a few different options here. Let me see if I can edit this. So again, I don't have a lot of data here, but you can see how we can customize using a pivot table. We can refine our analysis based on various dimensions and measurements. And so I think it would be important for you to look at or understand the difference between dimensions and measurements. I do have the definitions included in the deck, but just to kind of reiterate, so the dimensions is more, so measurements are the things that can be counted. Dimensions are things that can't. Like, not going to add up dates, I'm not going to add up names or IDs. Just kind of give you the quick and dirty difference. But for the exam, there's a reasonable chance you may be presented with a question or two related to dimensions and measurements. So I would, take the time to get familiar with those two terms. As I mentioned, I do have references in there, and I also have a link to the Marketing Cloud glossary as well. So intelligence reports. So if we had any specific reports, I can create a report from here. And so I can look at it. I can do Excel, CSV, PDF, or even pivot table that I could then open up and do additional analysis within Excel. I can compress the zip as well. Strongly encourage you to use description, whatever it is you're doing. Doesn't matter if it's reports. If you have the option to use a description, data point, I encourage you to use that. Future you will be thankful. Your colleagues will be thankful, because if you're creating a lot of different components within Marketing Cloud, it's always good to give yourself some context. Why did I create this? What was it supposed to do? Why are we here? Basically, would be something you'd want to put in the description, so you have that context. You even have the ability to include that in the report. So again, somewhat incentivized to include that. Context is a good thing to have. So you can see down here, configuration, we have a few different options here. Sheet 1, you can add additional sheets if you want to get a little fancier. And then you can see all the various ways that we can modify the report that we're going to run and create. And so We can do some advanced components down here if we want to set a different name, include headers or not. How do we want to basically split this up? And then is this a protected Excel workbook? Can I apply a password encryption, all of that? And then am I going to schedule this as active or not? And then setup. So yeah, this is, I don't think you necessarily need to worry about this, but if you basically know that you can do some integrations here, manage a business unit level, and some more advanced features and functionality within the intelligence reports area. So moving over to Journey Builder, I have one active journey, not a lot going on in here, but there is a analytics button here where I can then look at my meeting and goal. Obviously, I'm not doing my job. I didn't set a goal. And so highest performing 0, because you know what? I haven't actually got anybody to submit that form. Just gotta make a better form to get that one person to convert. And then I'd actually have some analytics here to show you. But this is just more of a journey performance than a deep dive into overall analytics. So again, majority of where you need to be focused is on Analytics Builder, either the standard reports or the Datarama / intelligence reports. The second to last thing I'll cover is the Automation Studio. Doesn't run reports, but you can set a report definition. So if you wanted to automate and sort of, in mass manage, distribution of reports, then I could use that. I'm not going to set up an automation here, but there is the ability to support reports within Automation Studio. So I just kind of wanted to call that out. So that probably you cover that during Automation Studio in preparation for that subject area within the exam. And then, as I mentioned, I don't think this would necessarily come up on the exam, but the Web Collect code, or what was formerly known as Web Analytics, has been moved over to the Einstein family, where this web recommendation lives. And so we got the just follow the mustache, and then you can find all of those features. And as I mentioned, Elliot will cover that in more depth in his session next week. So that is our demo portion. I'll switch back over to the deck, and then we'll kind of wrap it up. We back on Coolio? I can't tell if I picked the right screen or not.
We are currently on the marketing, smarter marketing messages right now.
Smarter marketing messages. Okay, so I did not pick the correct one. Let me see here. Oh, yep, I definitely picked the wrong one. All right, back to Coolio?
Yep.
Coolio. All right. All right, and let's make sure I didn't skip ahead too far, getting a little click happy. So a few official resources here. So these are reporting specific. Obviously, there is the overall email specialist resources that you've seen, but these are specific to reporting and analytics. And so there is a larger trail that will cover everything I've talked about here and more. So that's probably one of the safer areas to go if you want to dig deeper into reporting and analytics. A couple of specific modules I'm kind of highlighting here is just digital marketing in general, and intelligence reports for engagement, which again, that's that Datarama reports, aka intelligence reports for Marketing Cloud. And so this is the official name of that feature for Marketing Cloud. And then if by chance you are a partner, if you work with a partner and you have access to the partner learning camp, there is partner specific trails and function, basically trails and education opportunities. It will mimic Trailhead, and in some ways will reference some of the same details, but it'll also have some other resources available. Again, that is only for partners, but if you're not aware of that, I would encourage you to go look up the email specialist fast path curriculum on the Learning Camp. If not, then you can just ignore this bottom piece and just focus on the Trailhead piece above. All right, and with that, if there are any questions, happy to take questions and answer them best I can. And thank you for your time. If you decide not to have any questions.
Woo, good job. I am very, 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 very proud of you. You did great. All right, I think you already answered. Can I select individual emails to measure?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think you were answering pretty much throughout the session. So I don't think there are actually any questions for you guys. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask Chris while he is here and available to help. Take advantage of his expertise. What are some of the most common reports you have seen or created on a daily basis? Good question.
Yeah, it's a great question. So honestly, at least for me, the most common ones are are my emails getting out? What's my delivery rate? What's my inbox rate? So looking at the deliveries, opens, clicks, and unsubscribes, because obviously you really should pay attention to unsubscribes and the bounces as well. Bounces are a good indication of whether or not you are and there's a difference, soft versus hard. And so that can be an indication of how clean your data set is and or how relevant your messaging is, because either you're either intentionally getting thrown to spam. If the user's marking you as spam, that's bad, and that'll be a hard bounce. Soft bounce is it's hitting a dead box. Like it's either the inbox is full, or that account no longer exists. I believe, I think is also soft. It'll just keep bouncing back. So you want that to be low. I think ideally you want it less than 1, but I think they'll tolerate up to 2 before you kind of get thrown on the really naughty list. But those type of metrics are the most common. As you get more advanced, I think it's really being able to track the full life cycle and tie back the ever elusive marketing attribution. Did this link lead to a sale or a conversion? Did this progress the individual through whatever funnel it is that we're kind of working through? Did they get them to the next stage? And so at least for me, those are the most common. There's so many different ways you can look at it, but that's what I see most. Most important things on the exam. I see that one, so I'll grab that one next. I think really knowing the difference between the various pieces. I think understanding, understanding that intelligence reports is not the same as intelligence, or basically the full-blown version of Datarama versus the for Marketing Cloud subset. I think knowing the difference between that, knowing what you can do. So between the standard intelligence reports and the advanced, the pivot tables you get out of the box, but being able to do a query in SQL, you can only do that, at least from an analytics perspective, you can only do that with the advanced version. So some of those little things I think could come up on the exam. Again, I got that cert a little while ago. So I don't know how much they throw at you in that regard, but I would expect that to be something that you would see in the exam. Is it something you can't report on? So that's an awesome question. Yes, there's always something you can't report on, because there's always somebody that's going to ask you for something that doesn't exist. Marketing Cloud is line of sight, meaning does the data live in Marketing Cloud? If it's not connected and flowing into and through Marketing Cloud, you're not going to be able to report on it there. And if that, in that situation, you either need to export it and manually merge it up or integrate it with something else, or if you're pushing it back into Salesforce, which your most critical data points, if you are integrated with Salesforce CRM, you do want that flowing back, in which case you may have additional data points that you can report on. Because I will say this, and I will die on this hill, Marketing Cloud should only ever receive the data that you are going to segment on or personalize with. Otherwise, it doesn't have any value. It's just taking up space. So whatever you need to report on that you can't, you may need to do that outside of Marketing Cloud. I don't look at Marketing Cloud or use it as a data warehouse. It is not a BI tool. They are advancing its features and functionality and continue to add and build upon the intelligence reporting capabilities. So it will continue to get better, but it's only going to go as far as the data you have in it and how good your data is. So very soapboxy type response, but that's what I usually can't report on. It is something that can't be done in the tool because the data is not there. Most popular reports in Analytics Builder, I think I kind of touched on that, but I think journey related. I think journey is the journey. I might be confusing that with the intelligence reports. I think that for me, I'll stick with the tried and true. Like, are my emails getting there? What are my most, the performance-based reports are going to be the ones that are going to, at least gather the most attention from the marketing teams that I've worked with. Datarama reports and Analytic Builder reports. Okay, so Datarama reports technically lives under the banner of Analytics Builder. You have the standard reports that are available in every edition. So there's 4 editions currently available. Standard reports are available in all 4 out of the box. Datarama reports are only available in the second through fourth, or the higher tiers. The very, very lowest, the basic tier, doesn't even get that. And so at least at first it was paid, but I believe now it is a standard option, and it's just the way you can look at the data. So from a functionality perspective, you've got 60 odd reports in the standard Analytics Builder reports, and those are looking at various things like deliveries and opens and all the traditional metrics. The intelligence or Datarama reports is giving you a bit more. It's predefined criteria. It's easy, in my opinion, it's easier to use. It's more dashboard driven as opposed to individual reports. I mean, granted, it's pulling from individual reports, but it's just a lot more user friendly, in my opinion. So that's the biggest difference, is the user friendliness and just the aesthetic quality of it. Is it? Yes. And so can you automate the process of sending reports? And so that was one of the last things I kind of touched on. So you can schedule reports, locally, but you can also, set up, report definition within Automation Studio to run automation. So yes, you can, automate that report distribution to get those to individuals. Now, as far as specifically to a journey being complete, well, the journey I think it's a little bit more nuanced. I think, the journey doesn't necessarily complete. The journey is the journey. If you're looking at when an individual completes, then, we can do something with that, but I think that's going to be a bit more custom. So I think you can get there, but I don't think you're getting there with the standard capabilities. I think you can build it. I think you could design it and deliver that, but I don't think you're getting that with what's available. It's not a turnkey option that I'm aware of. I don't know if any of the other experts on the call have a different perspective. Okay, so how to check which edition of Marketing Cloud? So generally, I don't
It
think
should be
you.
by your name, right? Isn't it like if you go up there by your name, you should be able to check and see like what edition you have?
No, I don't think you get that in Marketing Cloud. Let me just do. I don't think we have the same sort of like company information like we do on the core platform on the Marketing Cloud side. I've generally always relied on the purchase order or to look at the individual SKUs. I'm looking at company settings to see if it tells me that or not. So just give me 1 second. I'll see if I can answer that one on the fly.
In the meantime, Chris checks that information. This is a gentle reminder, everyone. Please remember to fill out the form. So we have the questions already sorted for the Ask Me Anything panel happening in the next session, day 10, Thursday, same time, 9 p.m. Please make sure that you include the detailed information. If you are asking a question, include which topic that relates to, and also keep it in detail. So we have all the required information to answer your question. Thank you. Go ahead, Chris.
Thank you, JB. In a quick time check, we got 6 minutes of questions, you guys, but we got to let this expert go. So, right.
So the short answer is I do not see a way in the environment. So you would want to either check with the account executive or check with whoever has whoever signed off on the purchase will, they could look at the purchase order. That's the only ways that I know for a fact you can confirm it. It doesn't look like there's an in-system way to verify that yourself. Also, again, just because, we've got 5 minutes left. If you have additional questions, we do have the Slack channel. So if you haven't already registered for that, please get in. But if you are, you're welcome to, throw any additional questions at me on there. And I think that is about it, unless there's any other questions. And please fill out that survey and the questions for the AMA. And thank you for your time. Thanks for coming.
Great job, Chris.
Thanks much, Chris. That was a great session. And I know you are awesome, and you have been helping with the questions, not just for this bootcamp, for the previous bootcamps as well. We thank you very much for your effort and your continued support. And thanks everyone for joining us today. And we hope to see you again next session.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everyone.
Take care. Bye.